So you saw a cute turtle at the pet store, or at a reptile expo, or online, and you were thinking, hey, I want a pet turtle. Well, this video is to try to convince you that you shouldn't. Basically, I just want to tell you all the reasons you should reconsider this purchase and if you really need a pet turtle in your life. These are just some of the things to be aware of and you should know before jumping into turtle ownership. So the first thing you need to be aware is that that cute little turtle that you saw at the reptile expo or the pet store or wherever you saw it, that little turtle can live excess of 15 years, 20 years, heck, maybe even 50 years. Maybe even more than that. These are incredibly long-lived animals. So this is a long-term commitment. This is something that if you get it for your kid when they're 5, they will have it past the time they are graduating college. That is how long these animals can live. So consider that for a moment before you just go out and get everything for a turtle, because this turtle is gonna stick with you for a very long time. Now, if that isn't deterrent enough, remember that these animals will also have needs, and with those needs are associated cost and time. No matter what kind of pet you get, you are going to have to invest some amount of time and money to make sure they are properly cared for. With turtles, this means obviously putting in the time to do water changes, clean their tank, making sure they're fed as often as they need to be fed. Now granted, it's not going to be as much as your average cat or dog, but this isn't just an animal you buy and stick on a shelf and forget about. Water changes and consistent maintenance is one of the biggest parts of turtle ownership, so if you're not comfortable with a fish tank filled with 40 gallons, 75 gallons plus of water and having to replace 20 to 40% of that every other week, then maybe turtles aren't for you. Basically, that whole situation involves something like this, which is a water change siphon and a 5-gallon bucket. If you're fancy, you can get a python, which hooks up to your sink. I will link that in the description below. But you're gonna have to do water changes. It's part of owning a turtle, so if you're not ready for that, do some more thinking. Alongside the maintenance, they do have other specialized equipment that they need. Turtles need filters in order to keep their aquarium clean. Most of them will need either a power filter or even better, a canister filter, and these can run anywhere from $100 to $300. So keep that in mind. They will also need a basking area with heat and UVB. So this is an area where they can get up out of the water, get dry, and the specialized lighting is so that their shells can stay healthy and grow properly. It's not optional. And yes, while they do have really cute faces, unfortunately, they're really just not the type of animal that you spend a lot of time holding outside of the tank. Because they're mainly aquatic, you mostly just leave them in their tank, you interact with them through the glass, but you're not necessarily gonna take them out and cuddle with them like you do with your dog. They're just not that kind of pet, so you spend a lot of time watching them, but don't spend a huge amount of time hands-on interacting with them. And what are you gonna do if this animal gets sick or needs medical attention? These animals can run you a pretty penny if you have to take them into the vet, but as a responsible pet owner, that's something you have to consider and be prepared for. Feeding time can also be a lot of fun, but you also wanna make sure you're providing them with a varied diet. Typically, I'd choose at least 2 different kinds of turtle pellets to feed them, and depending on the age of your turtle, you could be feeding them every day, every other day, or every 3rd day. But again, you can't just forget about them. These cuties have needs. And now, having seen my turtle, you might also want to ask me, what kind of turtle is that? That's really beautiful. This is a Diamondback Terrapin, and they are actually protected in some states and illegal to keep in some states. So it's also important to check and know your state and local laws when it comes to owning the type of turtle that you're looking at getting. Also, by the way, if you want to see more of this turtle, you should definitely subscribe. So do that right now. And then the other thing to think about is that if you're looking for a beautiful display animal with a beautiful display tank, turtles can sometimes go against that goal, and your tank might not always look like this Iwagumi aquascape that looks nice all the time, that's picture perfect. Most turtle tanks will not look like that, unless you put in a lot of effort, of course. But they can be a little bit destructive and a little bit limiting when it comes to decorating the tank and making it look all pretty. I mean, you can look at my tank, it's kind of just rocks and wood and other things in there, and it has algae growing on it, but the turtle is happy, and that's what's important. So those are some really important things to think about before diving straight in and getting your first turtle. This is by no means a comprehensive care guide or anything of the sort, just a handful of things you should consider before making a purchase for a new pet. If you are looking for more information and care tips, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I've kept turtles for over 5 years now, and I would love to share all the things I've learned with you. There's also a lot of other resources on the internet, on YouTube, so most importantly, just remember, keep doing your research, keep learning, and make sure you fully know what you're getting into before you dive into the deep end of the pool. And I promise you, if you get your first turtle, they're kind of like potato chips. You just can't have one. I have 7 now. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up down below. If you got a turtle, go ahead and come back to the comments later, share what you ended up getting, and feel free to share any care tips in the comments down below as well. We're all here to help each other out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Turtle Girl, and I will see you guys next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye!